How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to New Mexico State Men's Basketball News. I'm Marshall. In today's video, we're going to talk about some new recruits that the Aggies could possibly get, that they've offered, that they've been looking at. Some really high talent, some really talented guys that'd be great to have on our team. I highly doubt we'll get all three of them that we're going to talk about today, but I was going to touch on them and touch about, the Aggies and see how high their chances are of getting them. The first player we're going to talk about today is Isaac Williams. He's a very good 6'2" Oklahoma City, Oklahoma native, kind of like Christian Cook. He actually played at Texas A&M Corpus Christi this past year, and he's only a freshman. And you guys might recognize that name. He scored 21 points against the Aggies, had about 8 assists and 5 boards or something like that against us early in the year when we beat him 83-82. He was a big reason why they were able to make the comeback. Not sure how he played against UNM, but over the year, he averaged just under 11 points a game, averaged about almost 4 assists and just about 3 rebounds a game. So just a really solid freshman year for him, and definitely a guy that can impact Conference USA at a high level and just be a solid player for us. He could be a great guard. I haven't mentioned it yet because I haven't made any videos recently since it happened, but Carl Cherenfant and Edward Namelko both entered the portal, which I kind of had a feeling they might, just because, they didn't get a whole lot of PT this year. So they might try to want to go somewhere where they will get more PT. Obviously, Zadi's also in the portal. There's always a chance that one of those guys will come back. And UNM's coach, Patino, he actually just, got to deal with Xavier. Seems to be coaching there from now on. And I'm assuming a lot of those guys like Dent and Tree Washington will follow them there. So it's kind of funny how they made fun of us for losing Chris Jans and Coach Kill, and now they're feeling the same effects for both basketball and football, just like how we felt. So we're even, and I'm not saying our basketball team's gonna be better than theirs next year, or our football team's gonna be better than theirs, but there's definitely a chance, and a chance for some competitive games. Just NIL, it sucks for mid majors right now. But Isaac, being another mid major guy, or even a low major, technically you could count as. He could be a guy that can impact us at a high level. Be a solid pickup. We have Gabe Pickens, Jacoby Osborne, and Marvin Cox going to be the 3 freshmen probably coming back. The reason I have a good feeling they'll come back is because, one, they're in a good situation. 2, I made some posts about him, and some people on Twitter were commenting, I hope they come back, and I replied back, hey, I think they will. I hope they have a good chance at it. And Gabe liked all those comments, so I'm assuming they'll stay. Had a lot of guys in the past, like Mike Washington for a football team this year. He said he was super excited for next season and what it was going to bring to the team in the city. Then he entered the portal 2 days later, left to go to Utah. Then he transferred to Arkansas after. It would have been funny if he went to Utah because he'd be playing with the quarterback from UNM. He'd be playing with him there. But he kind of lied about that. And last year, Keelan, he was talking about how he was going to stay, and he ended up leaving too. And so you can just never trust players. Things always change. But it'd be great to see those guys come back for sure. The second guy we're kind of talking about today is Matthew Mays, I think he's got to say his last name, or Mays, something like that. Fun fact, he actually played for Western Washington, which is in Bellingham, Washington, which is about 20 minutes from where my family lives. I think my sister might have applied there, but I know she wants to go to Washington State. But I thought that was pretty funny how he went to Western Washington. Didn't play a whole lot there from what I remember. He also played at West LA College, where he played really well. If you guys watched the Last Chance U documentary with East LA, West LA is their rival, one of their big rivals. Played against him a couple times, even showed it in the show. So that's pretty cool. I don't know if he was on the show. He might have been there that year. I'm not 100% sure. I had to look more into that. But that's pretty cool. I wouldn't say connections for me, but just places that I know that he's been at. This past year, he played at Henderson State, and Scoot Henderson on the Blazers, one of my favorite players. Also, wearing the Dame shirt, representing Dana Dame, just because, I don't know if you guys heard, but he has that blood clot. So he's out indefinitely. That's not something to mess with because you could die playing through that. Victor Wembanyama, he has the same situation right now, and Chris Bosh had the same situation when he played. I'm sure the players have gone through it. So prayers are for Dame. But yeah, Matthew, he played at Henderson State. Played pretty well there, averaged about 11 points. 6'6", really athletic guard. He can play wing. Super solid. Can shoot the ball a little bit. Just, again, super athletic. In a way, I think he's kind of like a Femi type player, but can shoot. I don't think he's as skilled as Femi. Femi Udikali, who I'm talking about, who played for the Aggies, not this past year, but the year before. So I'm not saying he's going to be as impactful as Femi was, but could still be a solid, overall around player for us, for sure. The last guy we're going to be talking about today is, I think he's Dre Bullock. Played for South Dakota this past year. Probably the most skilled of all the guys we're talking about. Averaged about 12 points a game. An elite scorer and another athletic finisher. Can get to the rim with ease. Watch some of his highlights. Can shoot the ball pretty well. Really quick, really shifty. He's another guy that I think would fit our program really well, especially if we're losing a lot of guys. It'd be great to have, some guys come in, some great guards to, replace guys like Cook or whoever else might be leaving. I know technically Peter Filipovic and Jaden Harris should have another year of eligibility, at least one, because of the COVID year and the whole Pavia rule. But again, it's their choice if they want to come back or not. So we'll see how that goes. Again, I would be surprised if Jaden were to just transfer to another school. If he just doesn't want to play college basketball anymore, that makes sense. That's fine. He's played his 4 years. But I'd be surprised if he went somewhere else and didn't decide to come back, just because, he decided to stay after a lot of people didn't stay after the first year at Hooten. So I feel like he's definitely got to stay committed. And shout out to Christian Cook also. He's trying to play pro somewhere. I don't know if he's trying to play in the NBA, what he's trying to do, but I believe he signed with an agent today. So maybe Pierre will do the same thing, or maybe he'll decide to try to come back. We'll see what happens. Fun fact about Bullock, he actually played for Louisiana Tech, which is obviously a Conference USA opponent. So he's kind of somewhat familiar with Conference USA. I'm pretty sure Louisiana Tech was a part of Conference USA the 2022-23 year. I could be wrong on that, but he at least has experience playing at that level. And again, he has a lot of experience playing Division I. He played at some other school. I can't remember who was on the top of my head, but he's played well at each school he's been at. So definitely a player to keep an eye on, and maybe a player will sign. We'll see. I do want to make a video talking about some former Aggies and where they're at now. I've been posting about Yak, Tanaj Petway, Femi Udikali, just certain guys that played for the Aggies last season and see how they're doing now. And then maybe Teddy Allen, Serge Rice, Tejuan Gordon, possibly even. Just give updates on those guys, see how they're doing now. Even Johnny McCants. I actually don't know what Johnny McCants is doing. I know he played overseas for a little bit, but I know he's still in Las Cruces because he's been to a lot of the games. I've seen him at the mall a couple times. So, you know, maybe do an update story on him. I know I've been missing those Aggie teams that made the NCAA tournament every year. So today I watched the 2019 Auburn game, and I watched the 2022 games against UConn and Arkansas. Not the full games, just the highlights, but I'm sure I can find the full games, really watch them if I want to. You know, maybe I'll make a video on like Terrell Brown, for example, the guy that missed those free throws to win the game against Auburn, but he was our leading scorer that year, and he shot about 78% from the free throw line, kind of like Cook this year. So imagine Cook, how great of a free throw shooter he is, and just a great shooter in general, missing those shots. You know, that's the guy that you want at the line, both Cook and Brown. We had some other great guys on that team as well. You know, I could just make update videos talking about where they're at, and I haven't made posts on those guys at all. You guys gotta remember, I didn't really start covering the Aggies or keeping up with them until 2022. But I know a lot of the back knowledge around them just because I used to live in El Paso and then obviously live in Artesia. So I know about New Mexico State sports and how good their basketball program has been overall. Heard about some key players along the way, but it's been really recent learning about all those guys. And so there's probably some guys you know about that I don't personally. So if there's any guys you want me to talk about, please let me know in the comment section, please. It's kind of hard to talk a whole lot about these new guys that are in the portal that we could possibly pick up just because I don't know a whole lot about them. I guess if we sign any of them, I can make more videos about them, kind of dive deep in, you know, just giving more of a deep dive into their career and how they've done. Because I don't know how they've done in high school. Again, I just know the previous schools they've been at, like I mentioned. Obviously, Isaac being a freshman, he's only been in one school, Corpus Christi. But we've seen him play at the Pan Am once. Maybe he can dominate for us again. I mean, we've seen guys like Jalen Jackson Posey, Casey Ziagu, even our new guy, Anthony. They've all played against us before here at the Pan Am or on the road. And, you know, now we get to have a chance to, you know, possibly pick them up. Or we've had players, like I said, play with us that we've gone against before in the past. And then Jalen Jackson Posey came from SFA, then played against SFA. Speaking of SFA, Stephen F. Austin, or one of our assistant coaches, Payne Andrus, he's actually at SFA now. And I believe Zach September, who was assistant coach for us last year, is also there right now. Or he was there and he might be at a different school. So I don't know what's with people going from NMSU to SFA. It's kind of like how our football team loses our players to Vanderbilt. Except that SFA is obviously not a, you know, it's like about the same size as MSU, maybe a little bit smaller. It's a Texas school. Not sure how much money they have. It's actually a fun fact I want to bring up. I know a lot of people are upset that we haven't been dominating in basketball recently. You know, we had a winning year, which is great, but we're also in Conference USA. So it's not as, you know, it's a way more competitive, way better conference than the weak WAC, what it was when we played. I know the WAC was really good the year after we joined. Or not the year after. Yeah, the year after we joined Conference USA, the WAC was pretty competitive. This past year wasn't as great, and it's kind of just dying. If this Aggie team, again, is in the WAC this past year, they probably dominate, probably win it, in my opinion. I could be a little biased, but you guys got to understand that Conference USA is way more competitive. So it's going to take some time to develop, but I do think we'll get to the point where we're dominating the conference very soon. Definitely think we could have done this year. Let too many games slip away, like we've talked about many times. But hey, maybe we pick up some of these guys. They can help us out. It'd be good to get some veteran guys, too. I mean, Dre will be coming in as a senior if he were to come in, just like how I'll be a senior. And same with Matthew. He'd be a senior next year too. But it's also good to get some young guys to build for the future. You know, we have 3 upcoming sophomores that we already have that should be staying. And if we get Isaac, that can be another sophomore. We have 2 great freshmen coming in. I know it's like that Carl's leaving, but hey, if we can have that nice young core, but, you know, get a nice balance of older guys as well, that's the perfect blend you need. Could really build for our future. That's kind of what our baseball team is doing right now, and I really enjoy that. They're 14-11, I believe. They're about 2-1 in conference, beat Liberty twice. One of the only teams that's been able to beat Liberty in all of our sports consistently, so that's great. They have a nice young team. You know, they also 13 seniors last year. They have a lot of nice young players. I think there's about 39 players on the team. I want to say like 13 of them are freshmen, and a lot of those freshmen are getting PT. Got a lot of great first-year pitchers. Steve Solorzano is a sophomore. He's doing really great things. He's a Las Cruces native. I believe he went to Las Cruces High School. He's doing a lot of great things as a sophomore, and we just have a lot of great young guys. Saul Soto, one of our better pitchers, probably our best pitcher, I would say, is only a junior like me, so he has another year. All these guys are super successful, and they're super young. We have a handful of seniors for sure, but a lot of our better players are good hitters and all that are young guys. Even our catchers, first basemen, all that, our outfielders, they're all young. So definitely have a bright future, and I'd love to see our basketball team do that because this baseball team has a chance to have the first winning season since 2019 that they've had. and they could just build up a great program and have some great years to come. In 2019, I believe they're like 37-19 or something like that. I could be wrong. It was around the lines of that. I think won 37 games. I know Mario Mocho was really excited about that, and he obviously played baseball here. Still sad he's not the athletic director anymore. But it is what it is. Things happen. But baseball, they definitely have a chance to keep on improving and just be really dominant. And that's definitely a sport to keep an eye on. I know a lot of people don't keep up with baseball as much, but hey, keep up with that. And our football team trending in the right direction, basketball team trending in the right direction. Obviously, what we're talking about. Our women's sports are always really successful. They're playing their spring soccer right now. And I think they have a lot of players coming back too. I think a lot of them are going to leave, but since the whole poverty rule, again, they might have another year. So in a way, it's helping out a lot, but a lot of young guys, they come in playing behind these 6-year seniors. College basketball and just college sports in general has just been crazy because you'll see people playing college sports for almost a decade, sometimes over a decade. It's insane. Yes, I've seen it happen where guys play 11 years, or I've never seen girls play that long, but I'm sure it's happened before where they play a decent amount of time. Like last year, March Madness, we saw dudes play 6 to 8 years. So it's just crazy. I'm going on a rampage. Don't need to be talking about all that. I know the video is mainly the subject of those 3 guys that we could possibly pick up. But again, don't know a whole lot about them, so kind of just want to throw a bunch of things in there. My next video, I'll be talking about, I'll try to talk about the guys that, play for the Aggies not this past season, but the season before and where they're at now, and just give an update on a bunch of former Aggies. I think that'll be a great video to do. And I'll say here more news about other players that we could possibly pick up. I'll make videos on that, or maybe I'll just kind of combine it all, kind of like what I did in this video a little bit. Just kind of all over the place. Not even sure what I'm gonna title it. Probably just something to do with these players that we could pick up. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it's kind of all over the place. It's kind of late. I've been tired. It's been a really busy week. I wanted to make this video earlier today. I totally forgot about it just because, again, I caught up with a lot of work. But I'm bringing it to you guys now. I'll just upload tonight's Wednesday night, but I'm just going to post this tomorrow in the morning. That way more people can probably see it. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm out.